Okay. You take a seat, and a smattering of other patrons appear and sit down as well. After a minute or two, there's a crash of cymbals, and a clown runs in from the backstage curtain and jumps onto the stage. In contrast to the other clown's colorful clothing, this is relatively simple: black wool trousers and a bright crimson shirt under a pale tan leather jacket with fringe on his sleeves, and a red heart painted on his shoulder. Or on the shoulder. His face paint is plain white with any colored accents, contrasting his curled black mustache and thin goatee. A snappy silk top hat with a rakish tilt tops off his outfit. He doffs his hat and bows with a deep theatrical flourish. And the small audience claps politely. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and welcome, one and all, to Barnaby Bob's perfectly normal traveling circus sideshow. Hope you've all been enjoying the attractions and distractions of our little traveling carnival. Now it's time for our star performance, the main attraction. Ladies and gents, put your hands together for... A loud drum roll starts as he gestures to the curtain, and then the cymbals crash again. The clown puts his hat back on with a chuckle. Me, Barnaby Bob! Much obliged, you're far too kind. Well, I haven't even shown you anything yet. With a laugh, he flips a large Bowie knife into the air. You didn't see where he pulled it from. The knife glitters as it spins. He catches it and flips it in the air again, this time catching and balancing on it on its point on the tip of one finger. He holds that pose very still for a moment, and then jerks his hand out of the way. The knife thunks into the wood, the stage floor, deep enough that he has to give it a jerk from side to side before he can yank the blade free. He winks broadly to the audience. Wouldn't be any fun if they weren't sharp, would it, ladies and gents? Clap. He pulls 2 more knives from his jacket and begins a flashy and elaborate knife juggling act. 3 spinning blades somehow turn into 4, and then his hat is added to the mix, floating lightly through the cascade of knives without a single scratch. He finishes the routine by catching 2 of the knives in each hand and allowing his hat to fall nearly to the ground before catching it on the tip of his boot and kicking it back into the air on top of his head. Applaud. Ah, now there's some applause I believe I've earned. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it took a lot of hats to get to where I am today. He chuckles as he adjusts his hat back to its original rakish tilt. Now for the grand finale. For this, I'll need a volunteer from the audience. A few hands go up. Barnaby Bob ignores them and looks directly at you. How about you, madam? Well, Now, don't be shy. We're all friends here, right? Come on up on the stage. No. You hesitate, but Barnaby Bob starts up a round of applause, and the audience joins in. Reluctantly, you climb up onto the stage. There we go. Not so bad, is it? Your name, please? Myouren. I forgot I did the Marston thing. It's a real pleasure to finally meet you, Myouren Marshall Marston. He shouldn't know my middle name. Stand right here, won't you? Stand there. A couple of clowns haul a large wooden panel about 7 feet tall and 4 feet wide up onto the stage. They stand it up vertically behind you and stay there, holding it steady. It has 2 holes in it slightly above waist level and a lot of knife marks. Press your back flat up against the wood, please, and put your hands through the holes. You do so. The holes are just a fraction too high, so it's not very comfortable, and then one of the clowns pulls your arms back tighter and ties them together with the rough hemp, so it becomes much more uncomfortable for a variety of reasons. Don't worry, this is just to make sure you don't make any sudden and unexpected movements. We wouldn't want that, would we? Fret not, miss. Everything's under control. He steps up close to you and adjusts your collar, brushes a little dust off your shoulders. My control. You know, Myouren, we get a sharp customer through here from time to time, but my, you're the sharpest I've ever seen. However, I'd bet a shiny silver dollar I've got something up my sleeve that's even sharper. His pupils narrow to vertical slits as he grins to you, revealing rows of pointed yellow shark teeth. As he turns around, you can see that heart on the shoulder of his leather jacket is drawn with an arrow through it and the word Mom. It doesn't look painted on for your hands. You struggle a little, but your arms are too tightly bound. The rough hemp rope digs into your wrist. Barnaby Bob strolls to the other end of the stage and turns to face you. Now, don't you worry. This will all be over soon. Just don't move. He has a knife in his hand again, gives it a few twirls, and flips. Light reflecting from the blade glitters in his eyes. Then, without warning, he hurls it at you. Thunk! The knife hits the wood before you can even blink a hair's breadth from your left ear. Stare him down. Bob grins at you as the crowd applauds. Another knife appears in one hand and an apple in the other. He tosses the apple to one of the stagehands, who carefully balances it on top of your head. Time for the old William Tell routine. A bit of a cliche, perhaps, but there's a reason it's a classic, eh, ladies and gentlemen? Take a deep breath. The crowd watches with rapt attention as he flourishes the knife, spinning it and flipping it behind his back. Then, faster than you can register, thwack. Cold apple juice dribbles into your hair and down the back of your neck. 2 for 2, what do you say, Myouren? Shall we go for one more? Stare him down. Oh, oops. I fat-fingered the one. Barnaby Bob pulls out another knife and gives it a quick stropping across the pale leather sleeve of his jacket, then whips a colorful spotted handkerchief from his pocket and blindfolds himself. This time his smile is much colder. I advise you to watch closely, Myouren, since you're the only one of us who can watch closely. The crowd laughs, but you don't really hear it. The knife spins in his hand, this time either because of your adrenaline or because he's actually moving slower. You can see the motion of his arm as he throws it. He twists his wrist in an odd way that you don't think he did before. The knife is flying at you. The knife is flying directly at your right eye. He has said the entire time not to move, so we're not going to move. The knife incredibly swerves at the last moment. Thunk! You can feel the wood shake from the force as it stabs into the board. The metal is cold against your right cheek. The audience erupts into cheers as Barnaby Bob removes his blindfold and pumps a fist triumphantly. One of the stagehand clowns unties your wrists and helps you get your arms out of the holes. Bob takes your hand and raises it to the air victoriously. Well now, ain't she a good sport, folks? And as brave a target as I've ever had. Take a bow, Myouren. Take a bow. Piss off, phone. You're not updating. As he hands you the coupon, the clown leans in close to your ear and whispers, "That's the only warning you'll get, girl." You got an item. Coupon for a year's supply of dynamite. Where do I fucking... Barnaby Bob gave you this coupon for a year's supply of dynamite? How did he know? How did he know what? That I like throwing shit? This little trailer is probably Barnaby Bob's office. Examine. The wagon is old, but well maintained. A brass plaque on the door reads Barnaby Bob, confirming your suspicions. Speak in. You see Barnaby Bob sitting at a desk. He seems to be inspecting a large map, but you can't make out any details from here. He did almost kill me, so we're gonna knock politely. Knock on the door. Come on in, Barnaby Bob calls. Enter. You open the door and walk into his office. He looks up from the desk. You? Here I thought I made myself perfectly clear the last time we met, and yet you knock politely and walk straight into the lion's mouth. You are either extremely brave or extraordinarily foolish, girl. Both, I might hazard to guess. I've got some questions that need answered. And you think I'm going to answer them? If I didn't find you amusing, I'd vanish you off the face of the earth for what little you know already. I appreciate that, but I can't just leave this situation unresolved. What curiosity did to the cat is going to seem like a Sunday picnic compared to what I'm going to do if you anger me, missy. Go ahead and ask your questions, but bear in mind, I already gave you fair warning. Who are you? The clown smiles sarcastically. Why, I'm Barnaby Bob. At your service, ma'am. You know what I mean. If my estimation of your intelligence was not entirely off the mark, you already know the damn answer. You are wasting my time and yours, and you have precious little. What are you doing here? Straight to the heart of the matter. Well now, I had you pegged as a clever one, so why don't you tell me? Well, they're the demon clowns from hell, so they has to be here for the demon cows from hell. You're here because the cows. Perhaps you've got a brain rattling in that skull of yours after all. That's correct. The cows came home, as you say, and we followed them. Why? Why? Don't disappoint me now that you've impressed me, kid. Think about it. Your age-old enemy leaves, and you've been fighting since time. Hold on. I fucked up somewhere. Think about it. Your age-old enemy... Hold on. I've clearly turned retarded. Your age-old enemy that you've been fighting since time out. Time out of mind. Ups and leaves. No farewell. No postcard. Wouldn't you want to know what the hell was going on? You don't know? Dear, oh dear, I've gone and said something I probably shouldn't have. Missy, you are treading on some dangerously thin ice right now. I hope you are thanking your lucky stars that I consider you to be essentially insignificant. I can hear those gears ticking in that 3-pound dog's dinner you call a brain, miss. Now it's my turn to ask a question. How are you going to convince me that I shouldn't make you disappear like a fart in a tornado? Oh, well, that's pleasant. Well, make it good, Myouren. Make it good, because you get one chance at this. You need me. Do I now? And what, pray tell, do I need you for? My freak show is plenty full. There aren't enough of you to be an army. You're just a scouting party. You're reconnaissance. You're here to gather information. Yes, and you can't do that efficiently. Not the way you guys look. You stand out too much. You need a human scout. Don't you play games with me, little girl. You are talking to Barnaby Bob, Duke of Hell, and I can make your worst personal nightmares look like a choir of softly singing angels. I'm serious. Look, I'm not your enemy. The cows are. And if you're after the cows, not humans, then you aren't my enemy either. The enemy of my enemy? Can't imagine we'll ever be friends, Bob, but so long as it's mutually profitable, I think we can come to an arrangement. You promise to leave the people of this world alone, and I'll tell you anything I found out about the cows. I gotta hand it to you, kid. You might be the first human ever to leave old Barnaby Bob speechless. We got a hold on. We got a deal? Alright, I agree. We won't make any trouble for the humans. You bring me anything of interest you find about the cows. Hell, if it's good, I might even pay you. Good. You're a smart gal, Myouren. You better be smart enough to know what happens if you double-cross me. Mama didn't raise a fool. Good for her. He shows you the map on his desk. There's a location circled in red not far from Dirtwater marked Tannery. This'll get you started. There's an old tannery a ways south of here. I've sent a few fellas there already. Go have a look. You find anything worth seeing, you let me know. One thing. You are strictly undercover. I won't be telling my boys about you. Not that I could easily get a message to the ones out in the field anyhow. If you need to defend yourself against them, well, so be it, and good luck to you. Later. My brain's in, turned to mush. I don't know what's going on anymore. Wait, I can just redeem it here? You find the nearest authorized dynamite retailer and trade a coupon for the explosives you crave. You got an item, a year supply of dynamite. Okay. That's fun. What's that tannery? Off the trail's I can't even talk anymore, guys. Off the trail's shoulder, you find some ancient petroglyphs carved into a rock. Translate them. They seem to translate, my first is the first of a burning coal. Intriguing. Sorry, I was checking time. It sounds like there's a lot of fighting going on inside the tannery, except instead of regular fighting sounds you're used to, like shouting and gunfire and chairs being broken over people's backs, you hear a lot of ghostly bellowing and shrill cackling laughter. Sounds like a real bad scene. In other words, enter the tannery. Oh lord, give me a sec. Alright, I think I've rested my voice enough. As you enter the tannery, the second thing you notice is that the place has been abandoned for years, probably since the cows came home. A lot of the equipment is wrecked, and all of it is covered in dust. The first thing you notice is that there are a bunch of rodeo clowns in here fighting with, well, they aren't cows exactly, they're more like the possessed skins of cows. That's a little strange because you've seen people wearing, for example, cow leather chaps, and you've never seen anyone being attacked by their chaps. Maybe there's something about the tanning process that makes leather impervious to possession, and these cow ghost whatevers are untanned hides. In any case, the clowns and cows seem preoccupied enough with their fighting that they haven't noticed you, at least not yet. As you approach the clown and weird cow ghost leather thing, they take notice of you and stop fighting while they process this new development. The clown, fortunately, seems to decide he hates the cows more than he hates you. The cow, unfortunately, decides it hates you more. Hate it right back. A skin cow. 39 spooky damage, 49 hot damage, or 39 cold damage. Hit him with the hot damage, boys. Hot and spicy. You beat the cow, but the enemy of your enemy is apparently not your friend because the cow decides it's his, or the clown decides it's his turn to be on the right side of the screen. Uh-oh. Can you not laugh like that? Bitch. Bean. Oh, they put out we'll do 2 more episodes and then sure. This one has about 10 minutes on it, and then one more for 20 minutes. Looks like you found an old toolbox besides the miscellaneous scraps and junk that naturally accumulate in toolboxes. You find a handful of nails and a pair of sizable, sharp, and serious-looking scissors. I want to say shears, because shears is down here. You got an item of leather shears. These heavy-duty scissors have little serrated teeth and are designed specifically for cutting cowhide. And a handful of nails. Sorry. I want to get in there and beat up people. I mean, I could leave, but I want to go fight. Your attempt to sneak up on the cows fails, assuming you were even sneaking and not just moseying over. The cows appear all too willing to add your face to the list of faces they hate and turn their attention from the cows who jump on the clowns who jump on this opportunity to get to jump on their ancient enemies. Join the fight. There's 2 skin cows. We're gonna hit them with the I want a bean. Do I want a bean golem? I think I want to a bean golem. A small-ish bean golem. And then I'm gonna cook this cow. Shotgun. And bean. I've already forgotten my melee weapon is. Oh, that's right, I got a bunch of buffs. Should form the clowns who are on your side in that fight betray you, damned clowns. Summon a bean. Give myself a shield. And burn him. Get him, Bean. Bean, no. Good job, Bean, you got him. Feels kind of strange to be fighting alongside demonic clowns, but I guess war makes strange bedfellows. Please ignore the fact that I just used demonic clowns and bedfellows in the same sentence. Back to exploring. Okay, what do we want to upgrade? Bean shield? What's bean shield? Well, I got it anyway. Give me another grit. Maybe a muscle. The scene has the makings of a real brawl. Not only does one of the clowns have a nasty look in his eye, nastier than typical, but one of the possessed cowhides is stretched onto a tanning frame, which makes it stronger somehow, I assume. Bring on the brawl. Wow, it's really fucking tanky. I'm gonna throw out the cold blizzard. What did it just do to me? Goddamn beat his ass. Oh, it's almost dead. He still has to move, so boom boom. Oh well. Guess what? The clown's turning on you after all the cows are dead. This is not surprising. That was weird. Some people use bean armor. Burn the bottom one. Then shoot. Alright, we're gonna finish this area. We're gonna cut this episode there. Probably this fight. Oh, my bean's almost dead. Get him, bean. Bean, no! He killed my bean. I'm gonna bone him.